Hi, welcome to another lesson of Robotics Club. Tonight we're going to be building Circuit 5A, where we kind of focus on exploring motors. And that's mainly because when motors come in, there's a lot of additional parts you have to add, like a motor driver and whatnot. So I'll talk about all the new components we use, and so the circuit's going to look something like this at the end. But I'm going to pull out my motor right now so I can show you guys some of the stuff. So we'll go part by part. So this right here is a little switch, basically a button. What it does is when you flip it, it opens the circuit, and so the current's going to flow through it. So then you can check whether the circuit's on, whether you can get a current flowing through it. So by sending current in, and then you can see if it comes out, but it's only going to come out if it's open. The next component is a motor driver, which is how we're going to control the motor. It has all these little ports. What it actually is a little breakout board where they condense things and all this technical stuff that I'm not really going to get into right now. But they're trickier than they look. Every year we have to review how to do this, and they're real pain. So yeah, basically this video is going to be helpful, not just for tonight, but especially for next week when we get into harder stuff with motors. What other new stuff do we have? Yeah, basically just the motor after that. So I already put a wheel on mine. These motors are cool because there's two different motors attached to them, like two different outputs. There's this guy here, which is going to spin and whatnot, but then there's also these ones which you can attach the wheels that it comes with too. Simple enough. I kind of went through that fast, but it's all, I mean, I think it makes sense. But if you have any questions, you guys know the deal. You can shoot me an email if you're watching it later. Jason, who's getting this personal lesson, feel free to ask at the time. And yeah, let's get started, I guess. So let's just go to the hookup guide. And that's page 93. And let's start building. There's a ton of wires here and they're not color coordinated, so it's gonna take a while, but I say we just go. And then if you have any questions, let me know. How's everything coming so far? Good? You need a little more time or?
Good. Yeah, I'm almost done with the motor driver. I'm pretty close. Probably just need a couple more minutes.
Word. It can get, there's a ton of wires and not a lot of space, so
yeah.
It might take a second to debug after too, but we got time. Just let me know when you're done and then we'll move forward.
Sounds good. Okay, I think I have it all plugged in here, but might be a little wrong.
I always forget to unmute myself. No worries. Yeah. So next thing, plug in your cable to computer, boot up Arduino. I'll walk through the code quick. It's going to be this 5A motor basics, same folder as everything else. I just realized I'm not sharing my screen. Screen share. All right. Okay, so you got the code up. So I'll just walk through where we're at. So this bit is a bunch of the motor driver stuff. Gets a little technical, but basically you just want to set up the motor driver with this code. You're setting up the switch, creating a new variable to store it on pin 7. And here is the motor speed. We're going to start it on 0, so it's not running when we turn it on. Now we're going to the setup loop that always goes through before the void loop, void setup, sorry, not setup loop. So if we'll remember, it goes through this and then it keeps looping through the loop. So the first thing it is making a new pull-up input. So basically it's going to say that's what's checking whether the switch is on right there. And basically just establishing all these variables. Now we're going to talk about the outputs for the motor drivers, which is going to tell the wheel to spin forward or backwards. And the first code, as always, is serial begin 9600, tells the computer breadboard to turn on. And this, if you've coded before, you'll know the print ln statement means print a line of code. And that's going to tell the user to enter it. And if you look at my output port, you'll see that line right there. You won't have all these numbers yet, but it'll be there when you run this. All right, getting into the good stuff, the loop. First thing it's going to do is check to see if you type anything in to answer this question that you just posed. And then it's going to take the thing you enter and set that to the motor speed. And then it's going to print it so it looks really pretty for you. And it'll say motor speed is whatever you entered. And it'll print the motor speed. And here is the meat and potatoes, just these couple lines right here. It's an if-else statement. So remember, you can set it that if a condition is satisfied, it'll do something. And then if it's anything other than satisfied, it'll go down to this else condition. So the if condition is if the switch is on, or if there's no current flowing through pin 7, then it'll note that and it'll tell the motor to spin at that speed. And if it's not, it'll tell the motor to stop. And so that's all the meat and potatoes. You can just go ahead and upload that. I think it clears this, but I'm not sure. No, it doesn't. But so this should be your first line here. And then you want to type in something. I'm going to go with the max speed because I'm all about that speed. And you type in 255, hit enter, it should spin, and then stop. Simple enough. And then you can enter any number between 0 and 255. I'll type in 100, for example. And you'll see that the wheel spins slower. It's as easy as that. Now you have a wheel spinning at whatever speed you want. And that's about all we're going to do tonight, I think. How's it coming? Does it work, Jason?
It doesn't work. I got all the code up, so I think it's a hard wiring thing.
Well, have you checked flipping your switch?
That's a good suggestion. I'll try that.
Yeah, so that's the other bit. If you do it with the switch flipped, we have it set so it's not going to run.
Wait, so does the motor only run for a certain amount of time?
Yeah. So it runs and then it switches to off. But we can take that out of the code too, but that's just what it's set to right now. But next week we're going to do some more advanced stuff where we're actually making cars finally. But yeah. So yeah, that's about the end of the demo. You're gonna, for people at home, keep this video because motor drivers can be a real pain in the butt. So we're gonna need it next week. And yeah, happy building.